So tell us about Faceoff.
Sure. Faceoff is a project by international thriller writers, one of the best writers organizations in the world. Has obviously it's international in scope, many hundreds of members all over the world, and I think ITW is the only organization in the world with a membership that does not have to pay dues, and
that's amazing.
Well, it's truly astonishing when you think about it, because all groups like this have a great deal of expenses. We have a staff, we have a lot of mailings, there are many computer costs and so forth, and occasionally, a group like this will have to go to bat for its members, so there could be legal fees and so forth involved, and much of that derives from the membership fees. But what we've chosen to do to get the largest membership we possibly can is to not charge anything. However, the money has to come from someplace, so we have various projects. One project that I was actually instrumental in a few years ago was doing a project with Audible.com and creating what we call a serial novel. And I came up with the original idea for that, and then I would pass the chapter that I had written along to maybe David Hewson or Joe Finder or Lee Child, John Gilstrap. They would in turn write another chapter, pass it along to somebody else. And that made a lot of money. It was a lot of fun to write. And this year, Steve Barry came up with the idea that we were going to do wonderful concept, pair two authors, have their main characters appear in a single short story together. And so I ended up working with John Sanford, of course, the wonderful writer of the Prey series. Now, I do have to say that we writers do not play well with others generally. We're very solitary sorts of people. But in this case, we had knowing it was for a good cause, John and I had a lot of fun writing our story, which is called Rhymes with Prey. Rhyme after my character, Lincoln Rhyme, Prey after his series. So the Face-Off is now out, and it's garnering quite some success.
I really can't wait to read it. And what was that process like? Would you email each other back and forth?
Yeah, I'm kind of a control freak, and John is sort of a control freak too. What we decided to do, because time is quite precious to come by for writers, especially John and I, who are working on books right at the moment, what we did was came up with an outline, divided the story into 8 sections. He picked 4, I picked 4, and we wrote them simultaneously, put them together, polished them, made sure the different sections flowed into one another with some editing, and then out came the story.
Oh, very, very cool. And now switching gears a little bit, tell us about The Skin Collector.
Oh, we get to talk about me now. Oh, How wonderful. Good. The Skin Collector is my latest thriller from Hachette. Grand Central is the imprint. I wrote a book about 15 years ago called The Bone Collector, which your viewers may remember was turned into a film starring Denzel Washington and Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh, did you? Okay. Yeah. Scary movie. Scared me, and I knew how it ended. I left open a plot point in The Bone Collector, knowing that at some point I would come back to it. A couple of the bad guys escaped. I won't say anything more about it because I want your viewers to be surprised. Yeah. But I left that plot point open, and I kind of hint at it as the books would go by. So 5 years ago, I wrote a book, a Lincoln Rhyme book that had a reference to these characters. Then 3 years ago, I wrote a book that had a reference to them. Now it was time to bring that subplot to a conclusion. So I created the Skin Collector, who is a very nefarious fellow who lurks in the underground passages of New York, of which there are many. I used to live in Manhattan many years ago. And what he does is he finds his victims in restrooms of posh restaurants underground, lots of access panels and tunnels under New York, and he doesn't actually take their skin. What he does is he's a tattoo artist. He tattoos a cryptic message on them, but not in ink, in poison. That kills them.
Wow. That just gave me the chill.
Oh, I'm so glad. Do you want to confess on camera now? Are you inked? Do you have any tats?
I don't have any tats.
I don't either. I'm a coward. There's no way. Nobody's going near me with anything like that. But Lincoln Rhyme and Amelia, of course, have to try to figure out what he's doing, why he's doing it, and stop him before he strikes again.
Wow. Now, do you do research for something like this?
Yeah, I outline all of my books. I spent 8 months or so outlining them. The Skin Collector, the outline was about 140 pages. Oh, wow. That's before I write a single word of the book. Well, my stories are very tightly constructed. They take place over just a couple of days. There are 3 or 4 subplots going on at once, so we need to make sure that everything ties together. It's like the TV show 24.
Yeah.
Everything has to be choreographed very carefully. And I do a lot of research at the same time to make sure the facts are all accurate. And then when all that work is done, I sit down and I can write the book pretty quickly. It takes me about 2 months to write the book because I know where it's going to go.
Oh, very interesting. And now you mentioned to me that you're going on tour soon.
Yes.
Right? Where are you going?
Yeah, sure. I finished my U.S. tour and my English tour. And it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. Next week, I'm off to a 10-day tour of Italy.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it's going to be so hard because I may feel lethargic after the book signing. They always take me out to a very nice restaurant. I'll probably gain about 5 pounds while I'm there. I'll get some work done. I have my laptop computer. I'm working on my new book right now. But mostly I'm going to meet my wonderful fans in Italy. And if I may shamelessly, if anyone is interested.
Please.
Oh, okay. If anybody's interested in the cities I'm going to be in on that tour, just go to jeffreydeaver.com. And the entire Italian tour is up there, and come by and say something like "Ciao, è buono, buonasera," and have a glass of vino with me. So how's that?
That's great. Well, thank you so much for speaking with us.
Real pleasure now. You take care.